Hello, John Tapp again. Apologies because I have changed the nested conditioning macro when I found some errors pointed out by one of the projects, really errors in my logic. So I redid the macro and I want to demo it now. This is a replacement for the nested demo where we're managing nested data from Moose's files with the macro to condition the data so that we have the data in a better situation for adding to a database like SPSS or any other database. For this demo we're going to use Excel. We're going to use some of this TCO data from one of my colleagues here, Emil's project. So the first thing I'm going to do is go in and set this code file to the right code file. So I'm going to open up the code file and show you the nesting again just for a review. It's on the desktop, TCO data folder. There's the code file. And if you look at the nesting tab, I have a group 2 activity with social interaction nested underneath it. I would also like to nest group 4 underneath it. And this is where we had the problem. And I'll show you in a minute what the problem was with the data output. Okay, so I'm going to save my code file, exit saving file, closing does the same thing. Then I'm going to make myself an output file here. There's already one. Hold on. Okay, I had to stop there for a sec and help somebody with something, which is that's what that was. So I'm going to use my test out text file I already have here, and I'm just going to clear it out. So I'm going to clear the output file, and then I'm going to run some data. I think I have a small set with it just has 3 files in it, but you could run a large set. And with this macro, it really doesn't matter too much anymore. In the last macro, and I apologize if you watched that video because you have to relearn it. The last macro I said run as many as you can, and this you don't have to. So don't really want pooled. Look at my analysis preferences. We are using Moose's files in this case. My frequencies and duration, I'm going to say I only want nested counts. That's really what you need to do to go into a file here. For starters, I'm going to run it into a text file just to show you what it looks like in the text format. Again, this is kind of a review of the nested version 1. So run frequencies and durations, and again I set it to only nested. Okay, so this is group 2, group 0. This is saying that SACT code was on with nothing for that many seconds. RNT code was on with nothing for that many seconds. SACT had 2 seconds of PSAs. SACT had 2 seconds that happened with PRAs in them. And again, our group 0 code is a frequency only code, so these numbers are small, and that's expected. And the RNT had a PRA for 2 seconds. And then they had a lot of time where none of these frequencies codes happened, which is to be expected, as I say. Same down here, except notice that this is group 2 against group 4. So this is our activity against the other group, which was type of CB, and those codes are down here. Removed, not removed. I think No, it's group 4. Which those are these verbal physical aggression, CB. I'm not exactly sure what CB stands for, but looks like different flavors of aggression. Okay. But just notice here that we have group 2 and group 4 against group 4 here. So this is the activity with aggression codes nested inside of it. And this is activity with the other level nested inside of it. And that's where the rub with the macro came in. So to illustrate that, I'm going to change it to go to a comma separated file. And I'm going to run that. Oops. So wait. I didn't clear my comma separated file first. I'm going to clear it. So then you can see that it comes out pretty much the same as the text file. The problem with this is that it's hard to put in a database. What we really want is one row per file here. We've got 3 files here with 2 different levels. And before we had a bunch of zeros where, you know, stuff never happened in pairs, and now we don't have that. I mean, it's just not gonna, if it doesn't happen, it's not gonna show up. So what you need to do is run your test output and then open the macro file, which I hope is sitting around here somewhere. And notice that the version is now 1.2. Another thing that you need to do is in Excel, click this little button up here to restore the windows so you can see both. Really don't need this one this big, just to illustrate. So, and then I'm going to press the recondition nested report. So we're going to recondition the nested into one row. So just pick the first cell, and I just do that by clicking in there and then clicking on A1, and have 2 nested groups. You could nest another groups under groups, and in that case you'd want to say 3 or 4 depending on how many of these columns you have here. But in this case we have 2, but we have group 2 under group 4 and group 2 under group 0. So it's going to make a new sheet with these nested columns sorted out. In this new one, the macro goes and figures out all the combinations that are in the data, and if it finds one that it doesn't know yet, it adds it to the end out here. So the result is that we get a row per data file, which is really what we want. So this is the first file. This is saying group 2 SACT with group 0 nothing, and you'll notice there's 2 dashes, there's nothing in between them. This is RNT with group 0 nothing. This is group 2 SACT with group 0 PSA. This is group 2 SACT with group 0 PRA. If we go ahead and follow that idea out. Here's a trick. If you click on this corner of an Excel sheet and you double click any column, it will automatically size all the columns so everything's shown. Okay, so I'm going to go out here and notice here it starts into group 2 SACT, group 4 nothing. First time we get something is this column. So this is group 2 RNT with group 4 OCB. And that's just 18 seconds of that happened. So by including the group in the header, I finesse this so that we know everything about what this actual number is, and hopefully you can pick out of there what you need to do analysis on. There is still the caveat of things that happen in the same second, like what this is saying is in group 2 there was TA, CT, NT, with group 4 VAA, VAP. Well, that means that happened that second once for this file at the same second. So what you can do, it's kind of up to you or your PI or whoever to decide what you want to do with that data. You could go ahead and add it to the VAP, you could add it to both the VAP and the VAA. Kind of depends on what you want to do. Really the best thing is to make this same second issue not really happen, if you can possibly do that, by telling Lily that you have a finer mode, or if you're using Procoder, by telling it to stay in hundreds of seconds instead of seconds. And in Lily you can say, I want to collect with tenths instead of seconds. Of course that makes everything take longer in Mooses, but it gives you a little bit more accurate data, and you have to deal with the same second codes. Anyway, I hope this explains it to you. If you need to ask me any questions, send me an email, and I'm sorry if you watched the version 2 already of this nested video, because I redid it, and this is now the version 2 nested video data management video. So stay tuned, I'll be putting more as they're needed. I'm not going to save any of this.